You know how the Cowboys always seem to keep fans on their toes? Well, they've just done it again. Out of nowhere, a familiar face has walked back into the building. Running back Malik Davis is officially back with the Dallas Cowboys. His surprise appearance at training camp wasn't just a casual visit, it was the start of yet another chapter in his on and off relationship with this team. The deal is as simple as it gets, a standard one-year contract with no guaranteed money, but the timing says everything. Dallas didn't make this move just to fill a name on the roster. They needed him, and they needed him now. Think about it. The backfield was looking like a strong, competitive unit not long ago, but injuries have hit hard and fast. The Cowboys needed someone who already knew the playbook, understood the culture, and could step in without weeks of adjustment. That's Malik Davis to AT. He's been here before. He knows the system, and while he's not the flashiest back, he's reliable. When a team is staring down a preseason game with questions about who can even take snaps at running back, familiarity can be just as valuable as raw talent. It's a bit ironic when you remember that the Cowboys cut Davis just after the NFL draft. Since then, no other team scooped him up, and it seemed like his time in Dallas might be done. But here we are, with him back in uniform. It's almost like the football version of that old saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. The injuries in camp have forced Dallas to look back at what worked before, and Davis was the answer they came up with. The interesting thing here is how quickly he was brought back. This wasn't a slow, dragged-out search for options. This was a we need someone now. Who can we trust? Type of situation. And while fans might debate whether Davis moves the needle in terms of star power, there's no denying that he gives this team immediate depth. The Cowboys don't have the luxury of waiting for rookies or new signings to learn the offense. Every practice matters and every snap counts. So I'll put it to you, what's your one-word reaction to Malik Davis returning to the Cowboys? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to stay locked in with every breaking update like this, hit that subscribe button and help us push toward our goal of 16,000 subscribers. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming next, because this backfield situation is about to get even more interesting. If you've been following training camp closely, you know this running back room has gone from a position of depth to a potential problem almost overnight. Let's just be honest, the injuries have been piling up, and it's forcing the Cowboys into survival mode before we've even reached the regular season. Deuce Vaughn, one of the fan favorites, is just now starting to get more involved in practice after dealing with an issue that limited him. It's great to see him trending in the right direction, but the team is still being careful, and you can tell they're ramping him up slowly to avoid setbacks. Then there's Jaden Blue, who was really starting to make a name for himself before suffering a bone bruise in his foot. That's not the kind of injury you want for a young player trying to prove himself, and while the reports say it won't cost him major time, it's still enough to knock him out of preseason action for now. Miles Sanders, still out. Javonte Williams, healthy, yes, but the coaching staff clearly doesn't want to risk him in a preseason setting when his role for the regular season is already locked in. You start putting those pieces together, and suddenly the rotation for the first preseason game looks extremely thin. That's where the panic starts to creep in, when your list of available running backs drops from 5 to maybe 2 in just a matter of days. You're no longer talking about competition, you're talking about survival. Phil Maffa could see an extended workload, and maybe we'll get a nice dose of Deuce Vaughn if his progress continues. But you could see why Dallas needed to bring in someone like Malik Davis just to get through the week. And honestly, this isn't just about preseason games. Practices themselves were going to be an issue with so few healthy bodies in the room. So here's my question for you, on a scale from 1 to 10. How concerned are you right now about the Cowboys' running back situation? Be honest, because I think some fans are going to say they're at a 7 or 8 already. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any injury upgrades or roster changes, make sure you hit that like button. It helps a lot, and it tells me you want more in-depth coverage when things get tough for this team. Let's rewind a bit and talk about Malik Davis' history with the Cowboys, because it's not just a simple he's back story. Davis originally came to Dallas as an undrafted free agent out of Florida, which means he's had to work harder than most just to get noticed. In 2022, he actually saw some action, mostly later in the season, and he managed to put up some respectable numbers: 38 carries for 161 yards and a touchdown, along with 6 catches for 63 yards. Not bad for someone fighting to carve out a role. One highlight was that touchdown against the Colts, though it came during a blowout, mostly in garbage time. He also had a bit more involvement against the Titans in Tennessee, where he showed flashes of what he could do. But here's the thing, despite some decent performances, he reportedly grew frustrated with his limited role and lack of consistent playing time. That frustration boiled over, and after a playoff disaster for the team, rumors surfaced that he was benched. Still, the Cowboys kept bringing him back in different stints, which tells me the coaching staff saw value even if things weren't always smooth. This pattern of being cut, then re-signed, shows two things. One, Malik Davis is clearly resilient and ready to fight for his spot every single time. And two, the Cowboys keep coming back to him because they trust that when the chips are down, he can help them out. So now, in this latest chapter, he's back again. The running back room is full of question marks, and Davis provides a little bit of stability in a group that desperately needs it. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Malik Davis can finally carve out a permanent role this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're liking this deep dive into the Cowboys backfield, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. The more support we get, the more inside stories and updates I can bring you. Now let's switch gears and talk about some tougher news on the offensive line front. Robert Jones, who's been a solid presence for the Cowboys, is officially done for the season after suffering a broken bone in his neck. That's a serious injury, and it's one the team isn't taking lightly. Even though the initial reports suggested he might miss just 2 to 3 weeks, placing him on injured reserve means his season is over. The Cowboys could explore an injury settlement, which is a way to release a player from IR and potentially bring them back later. But with a neck injury like this, and much of his money already guaranteed, it looks like they're playing it safe and shutting him down completely. This opens questions about the depth along the offensive line. The good news is the Cowboys do have some options. Players like Gayton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, and Terrence Steele are all on the roster and ready to step up. Nathan Thomas is also in line to get some looks at left tackle, which is a big spot to fill. He'll have a real test against the Rams in the preseason, and that game will be a key moment for evaluating his readiness. With Jones out, TJ Bass could see more playing time, especially with Brock Hoffman teaming up at center. Then there's a group of players like Sidney Charles, Adonai Jiren, Christian, Austin Richards, Lale Collins, and Johnny Cornelius all battling for roster spots. This is going to be a deep competition, and the Cowboys appear confident enough in these guys to move forward without Jones for now. Overall, it looks like Dallas is prioritizing long-term health and depth here rather than rushing Jones back before he's ready. That's smart because the offensive line is too important to gamble with. What do you think? Does the offensive line have enough depth to hold strong without Robert Jones this year? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates on the O-line battle this preseason. So, looking ahead, these roster moves and injuries definitely shape what we can expect in the upcoming preseason games. The running back room, clearly thin right now, means we'll likely see a lot of players getting extended snaps just to keep the team going and evaluate who's ready to contribute when the regular season kicks off. Expect Phil Maffa to get his chances, and hopefully we get to see more from Deuce Vaughn as he continues his recovery. Malik Davis will also likely see some action, and it will be interesting to watch how he fits in after coming back. On the offensive line, the battle for spots and playing time is going to be intense. With Robert Jones out, the other guys will have to step up and prove they can hold the line against tough competition, especially in the preseason matchups. Fans should definitely keep an eye on Nathan Thomas and TJ Bass as they get their opportunities. These preseason games aren't just about winning, they're about showing who can handle the pressure and earn a spot. We're heading into an exciting but challenging time for the Cowboys, and I can't wait to bring you live coverage of the preseason games. There will be giveaways, in-depth analysis, and all the fun that comes with football finally being back. So tell me, who are you most excited to watch during the preseason? Drop your answer in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the live action or roster updates. This season is shaping up to be one you'll want to follow closely, and here on Cowboys News TV, I'll make sure you stay front and center with all the latest.